Dr. Rajin Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm pleased to take a brief call on this bill.
Give me the Latin
but first to simply say that I'm not an expert in this area at all. Before the minister starts to pillory me, as he often does, but if he does, he'll get it back double, I promise him. If he does, that's a promise, Minister. But I'm prepared to wear my colours on my sleeve. I know very little about the various art forms, the performing arts, etc. I do know what I like, and sometimes I can't even explain, Mr. Chairman, why, but at least I like it and I appreciate it and I go to see it or buy it, etc. So I don't know a great deal about the arts. I'm happy to bow to the superior knowledge of the Minister and of my two colleagues here as well, who have spoken eloquently about what's wrong with this bill. But what I do know something about is what is happening to New Zealand society. And Mr. Chairman, I want to speak, I do. And if the member opposite does not appreciate that, I'm surprised. But I want to make most of my comments on Clause 10, Mr. Chairman. But I do know that our society is diversifying. Is diversifying at a rate of knots. And started quite early, but since the mid-80s, this has grown to enormous proportions at the moment, where it touches every aspect of our life, particularly in the larger cities. And I'm sure the Minister is aware of that. So, and the art, or various forms of art, are very critical to our migrant communities, our ethnic communities, etc. And this is, Mr. Chairman, not a small community now. It numbers 500,000. So it's a sizable community in New Zealand. And what they have brought with them, Mr. Chairman, is a whole range of different art forms. And the concern I have is that there is nothing in Clause 10 that addresses their representation on the new structure, the so-called streamlined structure that the Minister is organising here. And that is a source of disappointment. And I don't know what the explanation is, that maybe what is contained in Part 2 actually addresses that. But I don't think it does it well enough. Why is it that no attention has been paid, under Clause 10, to the membership? And some appreciation that indeed there are experts in our new communities, not just Chinese and Indian, but many others as well, and their representation, or their inclusion rather, under as members of the Arts Council, because to do so would have, this late in the piece, demonstrated an appreciation that our ethnic communities and the diversity that now is New Zealand and its pluralism, it actually does also come out through the various art forms, and it's there for us to see. And so that it's a source of disappointment that representation has not been. And a former colleague of mine, Dr. Ashok Chowdhury, did purport to provide some advice to the Minister when he was in the House by issuing a press statement in 2010 about this particular matter. That at least there was a need to pay attention to this because it was developed. But I think Melissa Lee had that retort. Her retort was that this bill is not about ethnicity. So it's not about ethnicity, was the retort. Well, actually, it is about New Zealand's diversity. And that diversity comes through and is celebrated every day in our communities through the various art forms of our respective ethnic communities. And it's a disappointment, I say to the Minister, through you, Mr. Chair, that this is missing. And maybe the Minister would like to take a call and explain why that has happened. And well, if the Minister can give a straight answer without kind of having a go at anybody on this side, because it's not possible. I do notice that the Minister can't take those kind of criticism, although he gives a hang of a lot of criticism. So it's a personality flaw, I'm sure. But you know, sometimes the art can provide cure for those particular floors. And maybe the minister might take. Mr. Chairman.
Jamie Lee Ross.
I move that the question be now put.
The question is that the question be now put. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes against.
Green Party.
13 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
3 in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New
1
Zealand.
in favour.
United
1 in
Future.
favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 65, the noes are 55. The question will be put. We first have Jacinda Ardern's amendments to Part 1 as set out on SOP. Might pay to wait. 364. The question is that the amendments be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. So, party votes called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 in favour.
Green Party.
13 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New
1
Zealand.
opposed.
United
1
Future.
opposed.
Brendan Horan.
1 abstaining.
Members, the ayes are 55, the noes are 64 and there is 1 abstention. The amendments are not agreed to. The next amendments in the name of Tracy Martin is to insert new clause 9A as set out on SOP number 35. The question is that the amendment be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The noes have it. So, party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 in favour.
Green Party.
13 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 in favour.
Māori Party.
3 opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Brendan Horan.
1 abstaining.
Members, the ayes are 55, the noes are 64 and there is 1 abstention. The amendment is not agreed to. The question now is that Part 1 stand part. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. So, party votes called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 opposed.
Green Party.
13 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
3 in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United
1 in
Future.
favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Members, the ayes are 65, the noes are 55. Part 1 will stand part. We now move to Part 2. This is debate on clauses 14 to 18. The question is that Part 2 stand part.
Chair.
I call Grant Robertson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for the